St. Petersburg, Florida is just a beautiful place to live. And because of the way our house is set up and where we live, we're able to spend a lot of time outside.
My name is David, and I've been married to Pam for 28 years.
We have 3 children, all grown.
We love to hike, we love to travel, we love to be outside, enjoy our grandchildren, but there's also things that we don't do together. She's into yoga, I'm not.
Today I want you to circle back to this.
I practice a style of yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and a Mysore style, which means that I have a set routine of postures that I go through.
Does it feel okay?
I lead what I consider to be a very healthy lifestyle. I exercise almost every single day of my life. I eat healthy, I keep my weight in check, I don't have high blood pressure. You know, I've done all the right things, or what you think are the right things anyway.
And then out of the blue, one Friday afternoon, we get a diagnosis that sends us down a different path.
My name is Pam, and I've been diagnosed with gastric cancer.
Gastric cancer or gastroesophageal cancer are those cancers that arise in the stomach or at the junction of where the esophagus meets the stomach.
Gastric cancer is among the top 10 causes for cancer mortality in the United States. When patients with advanced gastric cancer come to me, I do have a very open discussion with them about the overall prognosis of gastric cancer.
The average survival time for gastroesophageal cancer is only about 1 year, even today.
Back in August of 2018, I had a routine visit with my endocrinologist who did some routine blood work, and he said, "Why are you suddenly so anemic?"
I'll never forget that Friday afternoon. We were the only patients there, and the doctor walking in.
He said, "I found the source of your anemia. You have a cancerous tumor on your stomach." It was so overwhelming, I didn't even know where to begin to start eating that elephant.
Unfortunately, there's not a routinely implemented screening program for these cancers, and so we're not preemptively looking for them.
If it hadn't been for the blood work showing the severe anemia, I would have had absolutely no idea that I had gastric cancer.
Early on, there are no symptoms, it's silent. And over time, as the cancer starts to grow, eventually there will be some symptoms that one could experience, but often they're vague symptoms.
They may complain of some acid reflux symptoms, some epigastric pain, indigestion type symptoms. But in the more advanced cases, you can see early satiety, which means a patient would say, "I feel full really fast." That may lead to some nausea, vomiting episodes. Subsequently, these patients may experience weight loss as well. Some patients can present with anemia because their tumors are bleeding from the inside.
Eventually, there is a heralding symptom that would bring the patient to their physician. The problem is that by that time, often the cancers are aggressive and far advanced in the staging.
Once the GI doctor found the tumor, they automatically put me through a whole battery of testing. I had CT scans, I had PET scans, all to confirm the diagnosis, the location of my tumor, in an attempt to stage the tumor.
There are 4 different stages in gastric cancer. Stage 1 would be very early stage. Stages 2 and 3 are a little more complex. They look at the depth of how deep the cancer is invading through the walls of the stomach, and if there are any lymph nodes around the gastric cancer that are being involved. Stage 4 is when the cancer has spread to either distant lymph nodes or different organs of the body, such as the liver, the lungs, or the abdominal cavity. The primary treatment options for gastric cancer would be surgery and/or chemotherapy or systemic therapy, what we call these days. If you have a patient with early stage cancer, such as stage 1, surgery itself would be a curative treatment option. However, when we advance through stages 2 and 3, they typically get like a sandwich treatment. And Pam was one of these patients who got a sandwich chemotherapy.
I started chemotherapy in September. I was on chemo through the month of November. And on January 4th, 2019, I went into surgery and had my stomach and 27 lymph glands removed.
And then she got some more chemotherapy. In her case, we also had to put her through radiation.
When they do the chemoradiation post-surgery, they had data to show the recurrence rate dropped by about 25%. And the recurrence rate on gastric cancer is very high.
After a stomach removal surgery, I think a lot of patients challenge with nutrition in the early parts of the after surgery time.
My surgery was in January. I wasn't able to swallow anything until March. And I started with clear liquids, and it just takes your body a while to learn how to digest food without your stomach.
In the stage 4 setting, surgery is typically not an option. We would rely on systemic therapy options such as chemotherapy, targeted treatments, or immunotherapy in selected patients.
The treatment of stage 4 has different goals than the treatment of stage 1, 2s, and 3s. We know that we can't eradicate the cancer altogether, but we do know that we can palliate symptoms from the cancer itself, and we also know that they can extend survival time.
As someone who sees gastric cancer patients every day, I can say simply that I cannot imagine what our patients go through on a daily basis. There are so many emotions that run through their minds every single moment of their life.
For me personally, receiving a cancer diagnosis was extremely traumatic, and I had a lot of anxiety. One of my biggest fears was a reoccurrence of the cancer. When I found out about the first recurrence, I was panicked all over again, as if I had just gotten my cancer diagnosis for the first time. They were able to eradicate the recurring tumor, not once but twice. And after the radiation, I thought, great, I'm done. And then it came back a third time. I've had radiation to that location just recently. It's a wait and see. This cancer diagnosis for us, as awful as it has been a real blessing in disguise, because it has brought our family together in a way that I don't think would have ever happened without this. My children and my husband have been there with me every step of the way. And I have my yoga practice. I meditate. I journal. Journaling has been a great outlet for me to help manage my anxiety and my fears and my emotions.
Trying to address some of these emotional concerns is very important, especially if they have underlying depression or anxiety issues.
Support groups for patients are very important. I think that this serves a large role for the patients to help them get through hearing other people's stories.
To have your stomach removed is catastrophic. It's a very scary proposition. So it's very rewarding for me to be able to let others know that there are people out there that have gone through what they're going through and have come out the other side and are okay.
Oncology is a very dynamic field at the moment, with new things being discovered almost weekly.
There has been a new sense of enthusiasm amongst researchers.
So this is very promising, and the next years ahead, I think, will be quite dynamic.
If somebody met me on the street today, they would have no idea the treatment that I've been through, or that I've had my stomach removed.
And our intention is to keep moving forward and to enjoy life as it was before cancer entered into our life.
In many ways, I'm much stronger than I was before my cancer diagnosis, both physically, emotionally, and mentally.